Curry splits the defense behind the back, fires a three. Oh, he puts it in!
Not just head coach, though. We're going to show the reaction of Steve Kerr as this play was developed.
Hi, my name is Adyan Mahfoudh, and I'm a 10th grade student at the Salaam International Academy. My personal project goal was to successfully coach a junior basketball team. The reason I chose basketball as my personal project was due to my deep interest in the sport, as well as the desire to learn the sport from a different perspective, particularly that of a basketball coach. I chose identities and relationships as my global context as it relates with a person's spiritual, cultural, physical, and mental relationships. In addition, I intended on building up my team's relationship and identity as an athlete through the sport of basketball. Before I began my coaching routine, I first had to practice my personal basketball skills. These included layup and shooting drills. The following clips are some of the shots and layups which I practiced. After I had practiced my personal skills over the summer break, I began my coaching routine. The following are some images and clips of the training days and game days which we had over the course of Term 1 and Term 2. The process of my personal project involved a weekly routine that consisted of coaching and lesson planning. I would usually plan my lessons 1 week ahead of the training day, and a typical training day would take about 1 to 1.5 hours, after which I would then prepare my lesson plans for the next week. The aspects of coaching which I had focused on more were offensive drills such as shooting and performing layups, while Mr. William, the main coach, would focus on defensive drills such as guarding and blocking. The following video is an interview between myself and Mr. William, the main coach.
So my name is Mr. William. I'm a PhD teacher and have been supervising Adyan System 1 of this year when he started doing his personal project. And it was about basketball coaching for U13 boys. And yeah, I supervised him throughout the project.
So, Mr. William, what did I do well as a coach?
Actually, the thing that you did well was the programming of the skills. Like you started your program with some basic skills. In basketball, we would call those like dribbling skills, passing skills, of which any basketball player should adapt and should master. And actually, that had a good consistency. Like there was a progression, some repetition of those skills. That was good.
And what should I have done to improve?
For example, if you would have made any progress in your plan, I think you had to make some more difficult skills like in strategy. I mean, coaching the players on how to integrate those skills in a game-like situation. to adapt the movement and making those skills more in the life situation. And also something like you will also needed to plan something like uh, fitness part of the plan, which could make the player more strong and like last longer. Apart from acquiring those skills, they also need to have stamina because the skills that they are learning from the base will be applied in the real game situation.
Okay, and finally, how would you grade my performance as a coach?
Actually, depending on the criteria that you set for yourself and the strength, I would grade that as a 5 because you actually still needed to incorporate like those things that we are missing, as I told you, like putting the training in a game-like situation and also including all those kind of stuff in fitness. Yeah,
Okay, thank you for your time.
you're welcome.
The main issue in which I had faced throughout this entire project was in identifying different training plans for different players' skill sets. This was particularly due to the fact that not all players have the same skill level, and in order to cope with this new change, I had to adapt new training routines for more experienced players as well as less experienced players. And also, I had to help the less experienced players in their training routines as they required more help from me. I found my biggest success in the way that I saw my team improve. They have come a long way from where they were at the start of the term, and I hope to see this type of improvement as we go along. They have improved significantly in many different aspects, and in some cases have exceeded my expectations. I personally feel as though I have improved my time management skills, particularly due to the fact that I had to balance my schoolwork, my lesson planning for my training, as well as my training hours. In addition, I intend on continuing my personal project into my DP years in the form of a CAS project, whereby I intend to coach the under-15 basketball team.